Perfect Mom.
Well, my name is Marylin Gordon, and I help people make the changes that they would like to have in their lives. I'm a life transformation teacher and healer and author and hypnotherapist. I love children, and I love working with them. And you know, they're so receptive and responsive to hypnosis. The reason they're so responsive is that they're there much of the time in the realm of the imagination or the inner mind. You know, they live there. So I knew that I could communicate with her on that level and then find out some more details, how she loves princesses, and help her to connect with that. So I just felt I have a lot of wonderful techniques, and I thought, well, these techniques work with a lot of other people, they'll work with her too. Persuasion can work sometimes and not work sometimes, because some kids who are strong-willed don't want to be persuaded. They say, you know, you can't tell me because I know. You know, some kids are like that. You know, so persuasion is more a conscious activity, but suggestion, now that's powerful. We are very suggestible as beings. We have that in us. We have a part of us that can receive suggestions and have them work. Like you are a non-smoker, like you don't eat sugar, or let's say you're free from sugar. We don't use the negatives like that. You're free from sugar, or you're able to pass that test. You know, people receive suggestions really well. And for me to find out what interested her, what did she like, what would be a motivating factor? Like, princesses don't poop in their pants. That is a great motivating factor, because she loves the princesses. So we talked and found things out and created a good way to get together and understand how she could be successful in this. She had an overriding need not to poop in the toilet. And there were a lot of reasons for that. I knew that she wanted to have power, but there wasn't that much that I could do with that on the surface. I mean, but I kind of wove it into the suggestions and the things that I was doing with her. First of all, I needed to find out what is important to her. And what's important to her, she wants to be a big girl. So that was important. The next thing that was important is that she loves princesses. And that was great. She loves beautiful, colorful things. She loves, you know, magical fairy godmothers and all of that. And I could speak to her on that level. I like that stuff too. So I could connect with her and help to get deep inside of her. And I made her the recording, and we talked about the princesses. Princesses don't poop in their pants. And that was important to her. So if I just find that key within the person, then we have a lead into that. You know, for example, if an adult wants to stop smoking, I find a key that helps. Like, they want to live to see their grandchildren grow up. And that's so important to them that it supersedes, it's way beyond the desire to smoke. So we can work with people once we find the key within them. I made it a story, and the children love that. They loved stories about these things that are metaphoric, you know, that it doesn't rub up against them, because they can just go into the realm of the imagination and relate to it. Well, I worked with another little 3-year-old years ago. She was going to have an MRI, and her mother didn't want her to have drugs, and she had to be very still, completely still. And I thought, well, first of all, I'm going to find out what this little one likes. She liked her ball and her sandbox and her pail and her doll. And so she told me all about these things. And then I taught her a special technique called EFT, which is a tapping technique. You tap on specific points on the upper body while saying certain things. And I taught it to her, and she was very little. You know, I just said, just think about it. Just think about tapping on your eye and side of your eye and under your eye. And so I made her a little recording also. And it was years ago, it was on a cassette tape, and the doctors, while she had the MRI, told her that she could listen to it. So she listened to it, she went into a very deep state of relaxation and did not move an inch. And it worked so great. And, you know, other kids, this one person had stomach aches. I found out, you know, they'd been to a doctor and found out there's nothing that they found was wrong. We looked at it, and this was an older child. She was probably 8 or 9. Found out that at recess she'd get a pain in her tummy. It was, the kids are kind of rough for her. She's a very sensitive child. So I said, well, how about if you just imagine that your hand is magic? And if you put your hand on your tummy, and knowing that it's a magic hand, and just feel the magic energy going into your tummy, then the problem will go away. So she did that, and she had some real success with it.